Welcome back everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 2018 Morgan Aero GT. Now this has 1002 horsepower, 857 pounds-feet of torque from a 6.5 litre twin turbocharged V8 engine. The car itself now weighs 2,437 pounds, has off-road tyres, all-wheel drive and off-road suspension, and it can now do 0 to 16 2.843 seconds. 0 to 105.567 seconds, and going to a top speed of 204 miles an hour. So that is fairly sharpish in terms of acceleration, but obviously this is a sports car at the end of the day. It's not really meant for dealing with these kind of conditions, but stat wise it does look fairly good. Off-road capability, braking, launch, acceleration, and even somewhat handling and speed are all fairly solid. There's no real big downside to any of the stats there, so in theory it should be pretty quick. It'll definitely be quicker than the Fast and Furious flip car from the previous episode, because that was a lot weightier, and even though it had more power and torque, it weighs a lot more. And yeah, obviously the length of that car played havoc with some of the handling, so yeah, it should be lighter, more nimble, more agile to get around the corners. And even though it's hardly an off-road orientated vehicle, it's not exactly got massive overhangs at the front to catch on any of the bumps and jumps. And yeah, it's pretty powerful as well. It's got more than twice the power it had originally, so yeah, I think this has the potential to be one of the faster cars that we've had on this series. Just because, yeah, a lot of cars that you might not think would be quick have been quick on this series in the past. So this could be another one of those. But it all depends on how it deals with this course in terms of the off-road elements, while the fact that it's also got way more power and all-wheel drive as well on top of all of that. Because yeah, this was rear-wheel drive only, so there is potential for understeer. For now, all we've got is a lot of oversteer, which is somewhat manageable. Deal with the landing. A little bit hard there. Bounce right back up. So yeah, this had rock hard suspension pretty much to start with. Obviously it has been raised with the off-road suspension, but only by 0.94 of an inch I think it was. So it's not massively increased, so it's probably still slamming into the ground somewhat. Yeah, on the whole it's dealing with the power and the all-wheel drive fine. Definitely can feel the tufts of the really rather rock hard suspension bouncing pretty much on every kind of bump and jump and rock and whatnot. It really is, yeah, quite a you know, non-pliable kind of suspension. It's really not absorbing the bumps, it's just crashing into them. I'm really glad I'm not really driving one of these on off-road. I have a spine left. To the slightly more tight and twisty part. Should deal with this well, given the kind of car that it is. This is a really rather agile sports car in stock form, so no real issues here. Final corner, take some speed. Sort of maintain speed. So yeah, that is actually pretty damn quick. That is into the top 10, I believe. Yes, it is. With 3 minutes 12.587, that means we are just, and I mean just, behind a Lancia Delta S4 by 0.003 of a second. So incredibly close towards that. What is actually a rally car. We're quicker than the Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint GTA Stradale. the RJ Anderson Polaris Razor Off-Road Ford truck. We knocked the Ford XB Falcon GT out of the top 10, and we're also quicker than other kind of sports cars like the Lotus Emira, Mercedes-Benz SL65 AMG Black Series, as well as off-road orientated vehicles like the MG Metro 6R4, GMC Hummer EV pickup, the Lancia Stratos HF Stradale, and the BMW iX xDrive 50. Like I said, we're only a hair's breadth behind the Lancia Delta S4, as well as the Lamborghini Huracan Stradale and the Lancia 037 Stradale as well. So, I mean the Lamborghini Huracan STO and the Lancia 037 Stradale. So, not particularly far off those. And yeah, that means we're in 8th place, which, considering this is, like I said, a sports car, had rock hard suspension, which it was really rather quite struggling to deal with at times. Despite all of that, it's done really rather well. And yeah, it's as fast as I predicted it might well have been. I wasn't quite aiming for top 10, but the fact that we are in there is pretty damn solid. So yeah, good first time showing from Morgan there, although if we were going to take another Morgan out on this series, I doubt it would be as quick as that, as it is the Morgan freewheeler that we have from them. Only the only other car we have from them to try out, unfortunately. So yeah, that would not be as quick as this, but that is still a really rather fantastic showing. And yeah, is one of the few, cars that, might not look like it would go well off-road, but actually has done as well as you might exceeded your expectations, quite frankly, because even though there have been other sports cars in the top 10, we are still having a top 10 that is somewhat dominated by off-road vehicles, like the RJ Anderson, the two Lancias for instance, and even to some regard the Hot Wheels 2 Jets, because that is an open-wheeled car with quite decent suspension on it. So yeah, on the whole, this has done really, really well, and it's part of the festival purse at the moment for only 20 points. It's well worth getting, because even in stock, this is a fantastic sports car. Got a good amount of deal of retro leanings onto it, but it's also really rather quite sophisticated. So yeah, the handling on it is brilliant in stock. So yeah, get out there and get it if you haven't already. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.